Hello, guys. Back again with another podcast. And this time, we're still talking pre-season and looking forward to the new season, which is very imminent and coming soon in about 3 weeks. But yeah, we're just going to discuss a few games that have happened in the past few days, looking at the Manchester Derby, which took place about 3 days ago, and also Chelsea Arsenal, which took place today, a few hours ago. So, Zach, I'm sure you watched the Man United versus Man City game. What did you make of it? What was your views on it?
It was a brilliant performance from both teams, in my opinion. It was really a high intensity, and it was really like the both teams came at each other, even though it was a preseason game and it's not really affecting their season. But you saw both teams coming at each other. There was, I think, there was obviously the mutual respect at the beginning of the game. They both wore the Manchester B on their kits and their crest, and I think maybe that they put that aside in the match, and both teams came at each other, and it was really high energy and high paced game. You saw a lot of strong tackles going in, and loads of like hurrying and hustling for the ball. So I thought United played really well. The two goals, they were really high class and high quality goals. First one from Lukaku, which was a really tight finish from when he went past the goalkeeper, and all he had to finish was an empty net. But it was really from a really tight angle, and I think it really showed Lukaku's credibility as a top striker, world class striker. Then Rashford's second goal, the second goal that United scored, Rashford's goal was really expertly finished in the left bottom corner, past Edison Moraes, whatever, and it was really top finish from Rashford. So what I make of it is it was a really top performance from Manchester United. We played the ball really up and down the pitch, and we kept the ball. We never kept the ball the best at times, but we moved the ball up and down, and we were always behind, always going for the ball. We put men behind the ball when City had the ball, basically, and I think United played really top. I think if we in the next game, if we play a similar level of football to the way we played against Manchester City, I think we could really test Real Madrid and potentially even win against Real Madrid. So yeah, I'm
So,
really happy and looking optimistic towards United tomorrow.
Man United looked great against Man City the other day. But would you not say that Man City had a few squads, such as I think there was a player called Roberts who was playing. I've never really heard of him before. Sergio Aguero wasn't playing,
But
so
let me know one player that played good for City. Ben Foden. He was really quality. Like his pass accuracy was like nearly like it was like 96%. And Guardiola goes that he's never seen this before from such a young player, from the 17-year-old Ben Foden. And I think he had a lot of chance. He had a few chances. And he's creating so much against Manchester United. He looked really top class, and he looks a prospect for Manchester City in the coming seasons and the future.
your new signing in defence in Victor Lindelof played as well in the Man City versus Man United game. 4 months.
Yeah, he was really good against Manchester City, despite not like having experience of the Premier League. I think he really played the ball well, and he brought the ball up so United could create chances in the attack. I think he looks really comfortable on the ball. I think they call him Iceman or something when he was at Benfica, and you can understand why. Like he's really comfortable. The ball he's not never shaky on the ball. You can tell he just comes natural when he runs with the ball. Unlike Smalling in previous seasons, Smalling he's not offered really an outlet for the attackers. He's not really brought the ball up. He keeps the ball in their own half, and because of that, I think United always look vulnerable uh, against other attacks. But the only thing I'd say about Lindelof is he's not the most strongest, and at times when the players pass the ball well and the movement of the attacking players, I think sometimes it kind of outdoes Lindelof. But hopefully, by getting experience in the Premier League and training well and maybe bulking up a bit, I think he'll be very profitable in the season. He'll be a really good prospect for Manchester United.
So it's Chelsea today. We got hammered 3-0. Chelsea were much the better side. So many chances created. It should have been about 5 or 6, to be honest. We just didn't look up for it. Could been the heat could have been a factor. The fact that it was at 27 degrees. They had a
Yeah,
few water breaks in the game as well. I just think that we just didn't look up to it and better team. Wenger still doesn't seem to have know what his best squad is by subbing so many players. There's so much dead wood in that team. Players such as Cohen Bramall, I don't know what he's doing in the first team because he was absolutely shocking. I think even Danny Welbeck, a player for him, we bought him from Man United, and what's he done for us? He's not done much, has he?
yeah,
So he's been a bit of a disappointment. I expect to see more from him. And even though he's not playing, now we've got bought in Lacazette. A lot of people are quick to jump, but he's not good enough. We can't really judge by that, can we? Until the season actually begins. When the season
yeah,
begins, we'll see how great he is. But yeah, I
yeah.
didn't think we played too good. I don't know if you watched the game, but if you did, what are your views on the game?
The views on the game was Chelsea looked amazing looked really confident from the get go. Like as soon as it started, you can tell the Chelsea players they were looking forward to playing football again and playing at a competitive level, and you could tell they were up for it. Compared to the FA Cup final, I think it was a big contrast between this performance and that performance. And Chelsea really coming at Arsenal, and also they were looking in their defensive areas, in the midfield as well. And Chelsea were really covering the pitch. The coverage of the pitch was really amazing from Chelsea. It was really like fabulous to see from Chelsea. And I think because of that, they were able to create chances in the last third, and they were clinical. The way they scored, Willian with that finish in the right bottom corner was expertly finished, and Batshuayi in the left bottom corner with a really nice finish from outside the box. I say Arsenal they look bright at times, but they're not really challenging Chelsea. They weren't really challenging their defense. They were kind of giving up. Like they wouldn't be able to play the pass properly. They look kind of tired, you could say, from the Bayern Munich game. They're really working hard from the Bayern Munich game. But I say Arsenal, they need to make a lot. You can tell they need to make a lot more additions compared to just buying Lacazette. Lacazette, he's a good upgrade. A lot of strikers, but you need more like surgery. Like that, I say, you need more surgery in that team in order to make it into a world beater, basically, into a world beating team. And Wenger, he needs to maybe change his brand of football a bit, like maybe a mix between passing and counter attack. He needs to play a lot more counter attack and less like passing the ball around
And
in order to win against the best teams.
I take your point there, but to be honest, I don't see that happening. The fact that he's been there so long, he's implemented a certain style of football. Arsenal have always been about passing and moving. I don't think you'll ever see Arsenal play a counter-attacking game due to the fact that teams, when they come to the Emirates, they sit back because they know Arsenal are going to dominate possession, and it's just not a style of play that Arsenal can play. Maybe in some away games where they play against the bigger teams such as Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, maybe Wenger can look at adopting that style of play where you can have maybe just a one strike of Lacazette up front, of Welbeck, and another addition maybe. But yeah, but I don't see Wenger adopting style of play to play counter attack, especially when playing at home. Now let's talk briefly on just a few transfer rumors again. Starting off with Arsenal, we've been linked with from Monaco, a great prospect last year, scored a few goals against Tottenham. He's been linked with us heavily. A lot of people say that the deal is done from reliable sources, so we're not sure on that. I've not seen much. I'll be honest. I've not seen much of Thomas Lemar myself. What I've seen from him on the YouTube clips, he looks a decent player. He looks like a player that's very versatile. He can play in a lot of different positions. He can play on the wing. He can play midfield. But yeah, and Rafinha from Barcelona have been linked with Arsenal.
Yeah, he's been offered.
What
He's been offered to Arsenal from Barcelona.
if you've seen any of Thomas Lemar or Rafinha, which one would you say would be the better signing for Arsenal and why?
I'd say Thomas Lemar. He's more of your long-term investment, and he's a guy who can you can potentially develop into a world star. Rafinha, I think he could come into his team and Arsenal team and perform straight away. Thomas Lemar, it'll take him quite a lot of time, but I think overall, I'd rather invest in Thomas Lemar. But I'd say, where would he fit in Arsenal's team? Like with Özil,
Like
if
you've
you have
seen,
Sanchez, if you play Alexis Sanchez on the left, where's
like
he
you've
going
seen
to
Thomas
play?
Lemar, I'd say he'd
Yeah.
go perfectly alongside Granit Xhaka whenever Ramsey's not playing there. Thomas Lemar can fit in there. He can even play on the wing. So if Walcott a lot, I think Thomas Lemar could be great on that wing with Alexis on the other side and Özil just in between them.
Yeah.
Thomas Lemar. I'd say
Yeah.
Thomas
What,
Lemar
what
would
do you
be a
make of
great signing for us.
what do you make of the fact that Alexis Sanchez could potentially leave Arsenal, seeing as he made them comments, but apparently they were false, and it was like a red herring. But what do you think about Alexis Sanchez potentially leaving Arsenal? What do you make of the speculation and Alexis Sanchez? What's the best decision for Alexis Sanchez? The fact that he's not won any titles, any major titles at Arsenal. Do you reckon, as an Arsenal fan, it's maybe the right time for Alexis to leave for
Alexis Sanchez.
the
Alexis
success of his
Sanchez
career?
debate is very difficult to judge on. But personally, from me being a fan and going to games, seeing his reactions, seeing how he plays, his goals, his skills, and things like that, taking that into consideration, I'd say that Alexis Sanchez, with only 1 year left on his contract, if he doesn't want to sign the contract, I'd say we cash in on him and get. I'd say he'd be worth around 70 to 80 million easily.
Yeah, if you get that much, yeah,
PSG reportedly
I'd be really happy.
reported that they had a transfer request of 35 million for Alexis Sanchez, which is an absolute joke.
Yeah,
Worth a lot more money than that. But I'm saying that if the player himself, if he's not happy at the club and doesn't want to be there, there's no point keeping him there for 1 season and letting him go on a free next year. So personally, if he doesn't want to stay there, and personally buy a few players such as Mahrez, Thomas Lemar, in addition to Lacazette, and I think that next season, but the season after, that team, they can be serious contenders. Like you said himself, he's not won anything major at Arsenal, Alexis Sanchez. So if his heart is not fully in the club, I'd be really sad to see him leave. But I wouldn't mind if he was to go to a club like PSG or Juventus, as long as he stayed away from the Premier League.
yeah. So, what do you make of Arsenal's chances if Alexis Sanchez leaves? Like, what chance do they have of winning Europa League and the Premier League, the two major cups that Arsenal they haven't really won in like a long time, and I think they've never won a European trophy ever. So, what do you make of Arsenal's chance of winning Europa League? Is it Arsenal's best bet of winning a European trophy?
That's if Alexis Sanchez leaves. But personally, I don't think he's going to leave. But I don't think he's going to sign a new contract either. I think he's personally just going to be here for another season, and I've got a feeling he'll be going on a free next season. Hopefully, he stays here this season and he gives it his best shot, and hopefully, he can help us win the Premier League this year.
What do you think Wenger can do to persuade and coerce Alexis Sanchez to stay at Arsenal? What prospects and what expectations do you reckon Sanchez can have to stay at Arsenal for this coming season?
Personally, I think, like he said, he's always wanted to win the Premier League. He said he loves living in London. He loves the culture. He loves Arsenal. So I'd say that my personal opinion is that he's going to stay. He's going to stay for 1 year. But after that, I reckon he'll be gone next year.
Yeah, what do you think is the biggest driving factor for Alexis Sanchez? Like, if it was out of all the factors, what one thing would be saying Alexis Sanchez stay to Arsenal fans?
The main factor that I think that I've got two reasons why I think Arsenal Two reasons being Arsene Wenger. I think he has a really close bond with Arsene Wenger. We've seen in all the photos how happy he is when he's with Wenger and things like that. The comments coming from Wenger, comments on Sanchez to Wenger, is Mesut Ozil. I think he plays an important role in Sanchez's career. And Sanchez has come from Barcelona. Mesut Ozil has come from Real Madrid. They've created such a bond between each other that I think that Sanchez won't leave.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
great.
Obviously, they've created that bond, and obviously Sanchez he's like acclimatized to Arsenal's lifestyle. But I think that's just because he wanted to see the Arsenal life and the way the football club was run. Maybe he did like enjoy it, but maybe it might be a time for Alexis Sanchez to change in order to look at his back at his career and think to himself that he played his best and he won the trophies and he maximized his career potential.
Let's not forget.
At the end of the day, Alexis Sanchez may have had expectations for his career before, and maybe the direction that Arsenal are going is matching Alexis Sanchez's expectations. So, what do you make of that?
I see what you're saying there, but let's not forget this. Alexis Sanchez came to Arsenal in 2014 from arguably the greatest club in Barcelona. He came from such a high, nobody can argue that he moved down a level coming to Arsenal. What was the reason for him to come into Arsenal? He said himself the reason for him to come to Arsenal was he wanted a new challenge. He wasn't good enough for Barcelona, but he came to Arsenal for a challenge. So I think he's one of those players, as we've seen, he's a fighter. He's not someone that's going to run away from a challenge. And that's the reason I don't see him leaving Arsenal. He's a fighter and he'll do what it takes. People, I know it sounds silly, but we took Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez coming, we've not finished outside the Champions League. Alexis Sanchez is here and we've finished in the Europa League.
Yeah, as an opposition fan, even though I may want Alexis Sanchez to leave to bolster United's chances of winning the Premier League title, I have to say that Alexis Sanchez, if he was to stay, that's Arsenal the best bet of getting Champions League football, because this year coming is going to be really, really competitive. Like you can see the teams from the bottom, like outside the top four, like the usual top five teams, the top six teams. You can see that teams outside competing for them top four spots and the Champions League spots. So I say Alexis Sanchez, he'll be really, really beneficial for Arsenal. Like if you were to keep him, and he'd offer Arsenal straight up like a reliable amount of goals, qualify for the Champions League.
It's an interesting debate regarding Alexis Sanchez, but personally, I see him staying. I'm 90% certain that he'll stay at Arsenal for this season.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm not sure about his career. So let's just quickly talk about Man United's transfer rumours. And you've been heavily linked with Ivan Perisic from Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Great deal, or do you think it could turn out to be another Memphis Depay and a flop?
I don't think he's a flop. I think he would improve United's team straight away going into the squad. But the money that they want, the ridiculous amount, 48 million, and I heard a rumor that they wanted 38 million euros and Anthony Martial on loan. Like, that's just delirious. Like, and it never happened. So I think realistically, I think this deal may be off, in my opinion, because he's not really won anything. He's not one of the best clubs in the world. So I don't think Ivan Perisic is a right deal for the price that they want. We've also been linked with Fabinho, and I think Fabinho. We've been linked with Fabinho and Matic. Out of them two players, I say the player that I'd prefer is Fabinho. The reason being, even though Matic is better right now, but for Fabinho, he's 24 years old and he's got a lot of years ahead of him. So Fabinho, in the long term, it'll be a better investment. If you're going to pay 50 million for both of them, for either of them, I say Fabinho is going to be a better investment because you can get at least 10 years out of Fabinho. And I think Fabinho is much quicker as well. So you can offer your outlet in terms of like attacking wise, and maybe like in the Premier League, because it's high paced, you can maybe catch up with other attackers and stop the attacks. So I say
It's gonna
Fabinho is
be
really good.
it's gonna be a really intriguing season, as we know of all the transfer rumors. And
Yeah.
first game day is approaching really soon. To it, can't wait for it to start. As most fans are, it's going to be so competitive this year with the signings such as Lukaku, Morata,
Lacazette.
it just brews up to be league season. But yeah, guys, maybe in the upcoming week we'll have another show on some more transfer rumors and things like that. But for now, that's it, guys. Thanks.